The White House, masks are not mandatory, as we discussed with the National Security Advisor. And we know the Vice President had close contact with staffers who have tested positive. The CDC advises everyday people to isolate, to quarantine if they have that kind of contact. The Vice President is not doing it. Is he putting others at risk by campaigning?
Well, look, he could be closely monitored. So the short answer is yes, but you can closely monitor the vice president. I would understand why they wouldn't want to quarantine the vice president, but they need to be very explicit about what they're doing and the risks that they're taking. He should be wearing a high-quality mask, an N95 mask at all times. He should be distancing wherever possible. They should be serially testing him. And there's ways to try to provide a measure of protection around the vice president or protect other people from the risk that the vice president does contract the infection. But they need to be very explicit about the risk that they're taking. I think everyone right now in the White House should be wearing a mask. They have an obligation to protect the vice president and the president and not introduce virus into that setting. They certainly have access to proper protective equipment, unlike a lot of other essential workers that don't have that kind of access. They have access to serial testing as well. Finally, one last point. One thing they might consider for the vice president is using one of these antibody drugs as a prophylaxis. There's a belief that these drugs would work well in that setting. There's some risks associated with that, but you obviously do not want the vice president to contract this infection.
Right.